like to believe that I could look in the mirror and tell myself I'm great and then I'd feel it. But if you're destroying yourself the other 23 hours and 56 minutes, the self-talk isn't going to matter. Rich people do not value money the way poor people do. I think a lot of us, if we grew up poor, we believe it takes money to make money. Our parents told us that. Maybe a grandparent or the neighbor or somebody said that to us because that was how they justified not having their breakthrough and getting trapped. They're like, the reason I didn't get out. And we know everybody's got an excuse in their lifetime. Everybody uses them at some point in their lifetime to trap themselves. This idea that it's not true, it's a myth.
What do all these successful people have in common? You know, whether it was the mattress dealer, the car dealer, the furniture dealer, or Elon Musk, they spend money, man. You know, they spend money. They spend a lot of money. And they don't worry about money the way I was worried about it. They use money, you know. They used it. They didn't save it. They didn't hoard money. Mm-hmm. And the greatest companies on this planet today, the ones that have just some of these companies have lost money for 25 years. Look at Amazon.
Yeah.
Reinvest. 1.7 million employees. When I started, I remember I looked at Ernst Young. I said, I have a buddy that worked at Ernst Young. I said, how many employees you got? He's like, 240,000.
Wow.
And I'm worried about 10 people. Mm-hmm. What am I thinking? So when I quit studying individuals and started studying people, everything shifted for me. What is this big company doing? Mm-hmm. Because that also relieved me of being competitive with this guy, Pete, and started saying, okay, I'm going to go do what Coca-Cola does. That's when I bought the plane.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
How old were you when you bought the plane?
I was 50, maybe 55, the first one. I bought it because I studied what Coca-Cola was doing. They bought planes. I said, why are they buying planes? Oh, then I learned how they write them off. And then I learned how they trade them every 3 years.
That's crazy.
So notice every 3 years I'm trading a plane. I'm getting rid of it, replacing it with another one. But what are they using it for? They don't use it for pleasure. They're not using it for Instagram photos.
Right.
They're using it to go and set up headquarters in other countries.
Wow.
You know, so that's when I wrote, if you're not first, you're last, because when I started studying these companies, I'm like, Coca-Cola's everywhere. You can't go anyplace and not see Coca-Cola. I was like this big. I was always thinking about what can I keep? Mm-hmm. And they were thinking about how many shells can we get on? How many eyeballs can we see? Mm-hmm. So that's when it all clicked for me.
As the tech changes, you can take that data and those assets and put it through the new tech.
Every single person needs to be trained in AI and using these chatbot, auto GPT tools and absolutely augment themselves 10, 20, 100x.
I view what's going on in the business world today similar to the 20-kilometer asteroid that struck the Earth 65 million years ago and wiped out the dinosaurs, right? The asteroid changed the environment of Earth so rapidly, so dramatically, that the slow lumbering dinosaurs who didn't adapt went extinct. And it was the furry little mammals, our ancestors, that were agile enough to adapt, that survived and thrived. So the asteroids striking Earth right now are exponential technologies with AI as the overlord there. And it's just going to change the environment so rapidly that you need agility. You need a team that is agile. When you digitize any product or service, and every single product and service is or will be digitized. And if you're a CEO running a company where your services are not digitized, you're in trouble because someone else is going to do it to you.
Yeah, if you look back in history, maybe 50, 70 years ago, it needed about a 10,000 person company to create $1 billion valuation.
That's crazy.
Then it dropped to about 1,000 people. Instagram was 13 people. Right? Now we'll get it down to 3 people because AI will handle most of the execution work. You'll have a CEO who will drive vision and product, a product guy who will focus just on getting things done, and an operations person that will handle everything else. And you should just have AI bots doing all the finances, marketing, et cetera, et cetera.
So one way that we can begin to move money, as an example, is to have it become more meaningful to move it.
If you hoard your money, a few things happen. You get sick, and then you have to pay for the medical bills.
Really?
Yeah, or like your kids do something bad, and then you have to pay for the damage. So money needs outlet. So it's so interesting how money flows. And if you don't let out money energy's outlet, it's gonna get bad. It's like a pond. If there's no flow, the water gets bad, and then the next flow comes in. So here comes money EQ, the trust part. Trust is the hardest part of money EQ. You have to have the trust that once you let go of money, it comes back. So you don't have the trust. That's why you start worrying. That's why you have doubts about yourself.
Life is about an expression of spirit. Life is an expression of itself, and it gets constrained by story. How can I be more artfully expressing who I am fully in a joyous way and accepting life as it comes to me without precondition? That gives me an opportunity to move beyond my story, and it also gives me an opportunity to really identify where my story is constraining me.
You have to find your place, your seat, your reserved seat is what I call. A lot of people try to sit on other people's seat, which is wrong because your seat is reserved somewhere else. And if you don't sit on other people's seat, what happens is that you get so depressed, and then you feel so meaningless, so and all that, because you cannot really feel life. But once you sit on your seat, you are so deeply connected with your life purpose. Then you start, your magnetism gets turned on.
For most people, what they do is exterior driven. It's driven by what we think others think we should have. It's not what we think we should have. And having a new iPhone, having a new watch, having an increased bank account may give me peripheral satisfaction, but deep emotional meaning is usually not going to be there. We have a poverty of meaning, particularly in the Western world, that is driven by rampant consumerism, thinking that we're going to replace this whole. And if people can stop and think about what's meaningful to them, why am I alive? What can I be doing that will bring inherent meaning to who I am and why I'm here? That makes a big difference.
The first thing I would teach is money is fun. So if your kids know that money is fun, so we used to sit on the dinner table, just say, I have this, say, $10,000 to donate. What do you want to do? You can, help rescue the animals. You can help the environment. You can help the homeless people. What do you want to do? And when we give presents, what would you want to do? So my daughter grew up thinking money can do so many wonders. So if all our kids learned money is a magical wand to make people happy, I think people are more excited about getting the money. So they have no negative ideas about money. Imagine what if all the child have never been scolded for wasting their money. I think we will be so stress-free, because a lot of worries come from the need for survival, and it's attached to money.
Right.
So once we are free of money stress, I think our life will be so different.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you can teach money is a fun thing, that is a great starter.
Okay. Number one, teach them money is fun.
Right. And also, even though your child is growing up with positive attitudes, your friends may not. So they're trying to compete with you of how much they have, allowances, or like, this is my new iPhone something,
yes.
or like, this is my sneakers, or whatever that is. And then people try to manipulate you with emotions. So if you start teaching, you feel bad about money, you feel ashamed of money, you feel guilty about around money, we all feel some emotions.
Yes.
So if you start teaching emotions about around money, I think your kids will be emotionally free.